The illusion of choice. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path leads left, the other leads right. You pause, you think, you weigh the possibilities, then you choose. At that moment, it feels as though the future bends according to your will, as if reality itself waits for your decision, as if you are free. But what if that feeling is an illusion? What if the choice was already made before you became aware of it? And what if your entire life is built upon the comforting belief that you are the author of decisions you never truly controlled? Human beings are obsessed with freedom. We speak about it as though it is the highest virtue. We fight wars for it, build societies around it, sacrifice everything for it. Yet very few people stop to ask a simple question. What exactly is freedom? Not political freedom, not financial freedom, not freedom from oppression. Something deeper. The freedom to choose, the freedom to be the cause of your own actions, the freedom to say, I could have done otherwise. Look closely at your life. You did not choose where you were born. You did not choose your parents. You did not choose your genetics. You did not choose the language that formed your thoughts. You did not choose the culture that shaped your values. Before you made a single conscious decision, thousands of invisible forces were already constructing the person you would become. Your fears, your desires, your ambitions, your beliefs, all assembled long before you ever called them mine. We like to imagine ourselves as independent minds navigating reality, but perhaps we are more like leaves floating down a river. The leaf believes it is moving forward through its own effort, yet the river carries it. The current decides its direction. The leaf simply experiences the journey, and perhaps consciousness functions in a similar way. Perhaps thoughts appear, desires appear, decisions appear, and only afterward does the mind create a story explaining why they happened. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote that there is no doer behind the deed, only the deed. The idea is unsettling, because it suggests that what we call the self may not be the master of our actions. Instead, the self may simply be the narrator, a storyteller arriving after events have already unfolded, creating the illusion of control, creating the illusion of authorship, creating the illusion of choice. Consider a thought, right now. Think of any city in the world, perhaps Tokyo, perhaps Paris, perhaps somewhere else entirely. Now ask yourself, why did that city appear? Why not another? Did you consciously create the thought, or did it simply emerge into awareness? If you cannot predict your next thought before it arrives, then who is choosing it? And if thoughts arise uninvited, what does that say about the choices built upon them? This question haunted philosophers for centuries, and it remains unanswered, because every attempt to locate the source of free will leads to another mystery. You choose because of your desires, but where did those desires come from? You act because of your beliefs, but where did those beliefs come from? You decide because of who you are. But where did that person come from? Follow the chain backward long enough, and the certainty begins to dissolve. The self becomes difficult to find. Modern society responds to this uncertainty in a strange way. It offers more choices than ever before, thousands of careers, millions of songs, infinite entertainment, infinite opinions, infinite identities. We are surrounded by options. Yet many people feel less free than ever. Why? Because having more choices is not the same as having more freedom. A prisoner with 1,000 television channels is still inside the prison. The walls have merely become harder to notice. Perhaps this is why so many people feel lost, not because they lack opportunities, but because they sense something deeper. a suspicion that beneath all the choices, something fundamental remains beyond their control. Time moves forward. The body ages, desires change, people leave, death approaches, and no decision can stop it. The ancient Stoics understood this. They argued that much of human suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours to control. We want certainty. Life offers uncertainty. We want permanence. Life offers change. We want control. Life offers chaos. And so we spend our lives fighting reality itself. But maybe freedom was never about controlling everything. Maybe freedom begins when we stop pretending to be gods, when we accept the limits of our power, when we recognize how much of life happens beyond our command, not as a defeat, but as clarity. Because the greatest illusion may not be that our choices are predetermined. The greatest illusion may be the belief that we were ever separate from the forces shaping us, that we stand outside existence, directing it, when in reality, we are part of it, the river, the current, the flow, not watching it, not controlling it, but being it. And perhaps true wisdom begins the moment we stop asking, "Am I free?" and start asking, "Who is this I that claims to choose?" You may control your actions, but do you control the one who acts?